Hello, Agasya. First of
Hi,
all, a
Sankar.
very hearty congratulations for making it into all the five IIMs.
Thank
And
you.
I am sure, you will be joining IIM Indore soon.
Yes, sir.
So let's start off with understanding a brief about who you are.
Yeah, sure, sir. Sir, I'm Agasya Cheerla. I am from Hyderabad. I joined the IMS in Panjagutta, and so I studied from DPS Nacharam. I took Commerce MEC. That's it.
All right. So what prompted you towards IPMAT? I know for commerce students, there are various options. So
Yes.
what has made you identify this route as the one that you want to pursue?
So I was actually not that comfortable just doing a BBA itself, like just a BBA. So I was overall just looking for an integrated program like a BBA MBA. And once I got to know that IIMs offered it, especially something like Indore, that definitely piqued my interest. So I started studying for it whenever I could.
Right. And how was the experience with IMS, the offline classes that you have attended?
So I actually extremely enjoyed the offline classes, even though the commute was very long. But the classes were what helped me the most. Like every single teacher was extremely nice. They taught everything very well. So I think it was mainly the offline classes which helped me. Uh, all the concepts
Okay.
were extremely clear.
Okay. And any particular mentor that you have, really identified yourself with?
So no particular mentor, but all of them, sir. All of them help.
All right. And any highlights or any points, in the classes or in the material that you think was a very critical factor in your entire preparation?
So there were of course some topics which I didn't instantly maybe get in the class. Even though most of these some were a bit harder. Maybe I wasn't familiar with them. So I could always go back home, but whatever I didn't understand, I could do the tests online, the topic tests. And if I actually didn't understand the topics, I could also do the video where you can learn the topic itself. And so also in the mocks, even so you also do some of the questions.
Yes.
Yes, so the mocks, the explanation for each question, that was really helpful.
Okay. So you mean to say the concept videos on the
Yes,
MyIMS
sir.
portal,
Yes, sir.
as well as the video solutions for the mock tests were very
Yes,
helpful,
yes.
right? Now, since, we are talking about mocks, so how many mock tests have you given, overall?
So I'm not really sure about how many, but a good amount, sir.
Okay. So, how were the mock test scores as compared to
So,
the actual test score that you have got?
so it didn't completely reflect it. At least, uh, so the IPMAT scores were actually way higher than what I scored, but the Rohtak and Indo scores were way lower than what I scored. So it varies, sir. But of course, the mocks will be dependent on the previous year and things like that.
Okay. Now, since of all these, exams that you prepared for, IPMAT, IPMAT Indore will
Yes,
definitely would have been your first target.
yes,
So,
sir.
with respect to IPMAT Indore, how do you, comment on the IMS mocks? Were they easier? Were they difficult? Were they at par? How was it?
So I felt they were a bit more difficult than the actual exam itself, but that's not a complaint, as of course you need to do something harder. And with the video explanations, you really get the concept. So I was as I was doing the mocks, after I would always the main thing I would do is analysis. I'd go back and see the questions I'm not getting, and if I found anything to be important, I'd write it down in a book like very fast. So like before the exam for like 2 days, I would just go through some of those questions. Like it would refresh some of my concepts.
Okay. So when you say analyze the mocks, have you done it through your own process or have you used the analytics tab on my IMS?
So I generally just do it by myself with
It's
the
more about
answers.
which one you got right, which
Yes,
one
sir.
you got wrong, etc. All right. So the IPMAT mocks, as you say, they are slightly more difficult than the actual exam.
Yes, sir.
So did it help you? Did it help you or did it demotivate you? So how do you consider that?
So the first mock definitely demotivated me. But then as I kept doing it, I understood, okay, like I also did the previous year question paper. So I kind of understood that, okay, the actual paper is going to be a bit easier, so I can like prepare accordingly. So I wasn't worrying after the first one.
Okay, all right. And I believe, post the interview call, you also have gone through the interview preparation as such, right?
Yes.
So, how helpful, any specific points in this that you would consider as something that helped you really?
Yes, so the interviews are also very nice actually. Like the kinds of questions they ask, they're way more broader than any other like mock interview I've had. But the only thing is the frequency of the interviews. I only had like I think two mock interviews. I wish there were a bit more, but when they happened, they were always like a bit more creative with it. One of the sirs actually, he he didn't have a normal interview with me. He started off a bit like he was acting like he was angry. He started, so that kind of made me like learn to okay, have composure, answer with confidence, not yes. Sir.
So, the IPMAT Indore mock tests, which you said are more difficult than the actual exam. So, has it helped you or has it demotivated you? How do you consider the mocks?
So the first test complete demotivated me definitely because I had no idea. But as I did more and as I did the previous year's papers, I realized that the actual test will be a bit easier. So I could prepare accordingly. I wasn't worried about it later, even if I got a lower mark than what I needed to get.
Okay. And the interview preparation that you have had, so how helpful were the mock interviews? And I believe you also were a part of the knowledge sessions that we have conducted,
Yes, no.
right? So can you shed some light on your experience with respect to these sessions for interview prep?
Yes, sir. Whenever they start a session, I generally just join it just for we had some economic sessions for the Rohtak interview. Then uh, we even had some sessions telling us what kind of questions they'll ask us. Like you have to talk about being a socially conscious manager, things like that, just to tell them. But yes, the main actually my interview didn't go that well. So I'm not one to give advice at least on it. But in the preparation, the preparation was nice, at least IMS part, because it was not just a straightforward interview. Some interviews were a bit tough on me. Some were like they were asking very unorthodox questions. While some were normal, but they're still asking questions about topics like a wide range of topics. So overall, it definitely helped me a lot.
Okay, so this spectrum of questions that you were asked on in these multiple interviews, you say that has made you ready for questions
Yes,
from any direction.
yes.
Okay, so this entire journey with IMS, if I would ask you to mention one, highlight or one or two highlights that you consider as the best components of the program, what would they be?
So it's a complete experience. Of course, the best part would be when you get the email that you got in or that you got a call. But yes, it was the entire experience actually. Uh, from when I started 2.5 months, 3.5, 3 months ago, like IPMAT was the only thing on my mind. Like I kind of got a bit obsessed with it. So all the time I'd be thinking about that, and then that kind of helped me. So it was, if you're obsessed with something for a good amount of time and then it works out in the end, that was the reward. But yeah, the journey was extremely fun as well.
Okay. So any feedback that you have for us with respect to how we can improve the service?
So not much, sir. The main thing is depends on like the concepts clarity and the learning. The online portal is extremely nice, and the offline the teachers are also extremely nice. The only thing would be maybe a little more mock interviews. Actually, that's it.
Okay. All right. So thanks for your time, Agasya.
Thank you,
All the
sir.
best
Thank
and
you, sir.
see you soon.
Thank you.